Welcome back to Equipping ELLs, the show that supports passionate educators like you in creating powerful, inclusive learning environments for your English learners. I'm so glad you're here today because we're tackling something so many ESL teachers face: the pressure to always be the expert, even when you still have questions yourself. If you've ever walked into a meeting or classroom and thought, am I really qualified to lead this? This episode is for you. So let's talk about how to lead with confidence even when you don't feel 100%. Now, let's be honest, being the ESL expert at your school can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, your training gives you tools most teachers don't have, and that's really powerful. But on the other hand, it can feel like you're carrying the weight of your entire district's multilingual strategy. That's a lot for one person. So here's the thing. Confidence doesn't mean having all the answers. Confidence is about how you show up, how you respond when you don't know something, and most importantly, how you lead with heart. You're not failing because you're unsure. You're growing. And remember, every time you support a student or coach a colleague, you are shaping how your school supports all students, not just English learners. Now, I'm going to share with you that even if you've had 10, 15, 20 years of experience working with multilingual learners, the reality is there's always new things to learn. So don't think that maybe because you're early on in your career, maybe you've just switched over from being a homeroom classroom teacher to now being an ESL specialist and seeing it's really different than what you had experience in before. That's okay. You're growing, you're learning, and we're here to help you along that journey. So let's dig into 3 practical strategies to help you show up with confidence this year without the pressure of being perfect. The first thing is to create your confidence go-to file. This is a digital or physical folder where you keep notes from students and teachers. So maybe some former students that you've had that you know the impact that you've had that you want to keep in a folder, come back to over and over again to say, hey, that was a student that was a newcomer. And look they wrote me a note and told me how much I meant to them. Those are the things that keep us going on those hard days, right? Maybe writing in that digital folder or physical folder some wins that you've had, big or small. It doesn't matter, but writing those things down, we need to celebrate the successes that we've had and really mark the progress that we're having, the growth that we're making as a teacher. Maybe put in that folder some data that shows student progress so you can be reminded that what you do is making a difference, that what you do is working. And so even if you don't know all the answers, you can be reminded that you are doing what's right for your students. And then it's always great to just have some quotes or affirmations that inspire you. So on those days where you're feeling really down, you're just really having a hard time getting out of the pit, put those quotes in there. Put those things that keep pushing you forward, to keep showing up, to keep being your best, and that will help you. When you're feeling the imposter syndrome creep in, open up that folder. Reconnect with your impact. This isn't fluff, it's fuel. So often we lose sight of the impact that we're making. And for me, someone who teaches and works with multilingual learners, you are making a global impact. You see one little slice of that student's life, but you don't know the seeds that you're planting that are going to impact them down the road, that are going to impact their family, that maybe that student's going to go back to their community and impact their community for good. Maybe they're going to be a future president of their country. There's so many different paths that student that you have for 1 year, for a slice of their life. You can have an incredible impact on that student that can change the world. I really believe that, and I hope you do too. So put those things together, refer back to it, put it on your desk, keep it close, and just be reminded that the work you do matters. If you are reminded of this, something I want to challenge you to do this year is to add 1 new win in a week. Put it on your calendar. Go put an event on your Google Calendar or whatever calendar you use that maybe on a Friday afternoon, you write down 1 win for the week. And you just have this ongoing list of all the ways that you've grown as a teacher, successes you've seen with your students. One simple reminder each week can really help you stay focused on building confidence, on showing up the best that you can, and on seeing and keeping at the center the impact that you have. All right, number 2 is to collaborate. Don't carry alone. Collaborate is one of those words that we hear a lot lately, right? But sometimes collaborating is harder said than done. Now, you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to share what you do know. Offer strategies, but also ask questions, okay? There is a dynamic that comes with working with homeroom teachers and specialist teachers. I've been on both sides, so I've experienced both sides of having maybe a specialist when I was a homeroom teacher come in and kind of be overconfident or just kind of make it known that they know everything and not really take the time to listen and work together and collaborate. And I've also been on the other side where I've been that ESL specialist. And so you feel like you need to come in with confidence, because if you don't, no one's going to listen or respect you, or you're not going to be able to really build that relationship to work with those teachers. Especially in my situation, it was teachers that had been around forever, and they did not want this young teacher coming in and telling them how to better support their ELLs. So we kind of have to do a dance. We got to figure out how can we work together. And every team is probably going to be different. The dynamics, the personalities, there's a lot. So lead with curiosity. Ask questions, come humbly, but also be ready to stand up for what is best for you, for your students. Maybe that's scheduling, maybe that's grouping. You know what's best with them. A lot of times just coming in and saying, hey, how can I come and support you in your lessons this week? You becoming the expert in that sense is going to help them find ways that they can support the multilingual learners in their homeroom classroom. And so find those people. It might not be every grade level that you're able to collaborate well with, but find that one teacher that is really open, that wants to do what's best for their multilingual learners, but just doesn't know how. And begin to model, begin to bring in ideas of scaffolds they can use. We have tons of free resources that you can share with them. So please, we'll put those in the show notes, some scaffolding, some easy ways to scaffold, some expectation charts, things that a homeroom teacher needs to know in order to begin supporting their multilingual learners. Here's a way to respond. If a content teacher asks for help, respond with something like this. I have a few ideas we could try. What have you noticed works for your students so far? Having a response like that helps open up the conversation and dialogue, because the other thing you don't want to happen is for the homeroom teachers to see you as the one who does all the scaffolding. Right? Have you ever had that happen before? Here's the work for this week. Can you translate it? Can you highlight the words they need to know? Can you scaffold this? And then you become that dumping ground of all of the support that needs to happen for your multilingual learners. That's not going to be helpful to you or for those teachers. So how can you respond with a way that opens up dialogue, that helps give you a place to see what do they already know, and then to help train them from there? It shifts the conversation from expert delivering answers to partner co-creating success. And so that partnership we really want to work out. We want to respect each other and see the unique gifts and strengths we bring into that conversation and learn from each other. Again, maybe you have questions about content because, right, as an ESL specialist, you might be going into multiple grade levels and having to know the content of multiple grade levels. That's a lot on you. So come in humbly, ask questions to those homeroom teachers and grade level teachers and learn from them and pair your strengths together so that your multilingual learners can get the support that they need and deserve. Remember, leadership through collaboration is powerful and sustainable. This is the way to set the right path forward this school year. Number 3, this is a hard one. And this is to set boundaries to protect your energy. Confidence is hard when you're running on empty. Burnout is real, and it often hits hardest when you care the most. This year, choose 1 to 2 priorities to focus on deeply and let go of trying to fix everything. Okay. So where do you want to become the expert in? Where do you want to become more confident in? What would be the most helpful for you to show up in confidence? Is it in becoming a scaffolding guru? Would that help you better work with the teachers? Would it help you better show up in when you're pushing into the classroom to have scaffolds in your back pocket ready to pull out? Then go deeper on learning about scaffolding. Is it maybe better understanding the WIDA can-do descriptors so you can teach those to the homeroom teachers? Then go deeper on that. Attended training. Figure out ways to that you can gain a really solid foundation so that you can confidently go in and help others understand that as well. Maybe it's PSYOP model or some GLAD strategies, how you can implement those and teach other teachers how they can implement those in the classroom and how powerful they are. Choose your 1 to 2 priorities and really do what you can to become the expert in that. And then the other things, I want you to give yourself permission to say, that's a great idea, but it's not something I can take on right now. Because the truth is, you cannot be the expert in everything multilinguals, everything grade level content, everything about everything, right? Especially when you're most of the time maybe on your own, working alone in your own building, going into multiple buildings. There's so many different variables about your teaching situation that make it even harder to lead with confidence. So it's okay to say, I love that idea, but I can't take that on right now. I'm really focusing on this year. And maybe this is something you align with your admin to say, okay, where do we see the biggest need in our multilingual program? How can I be an asset to our school? And how can I show up as an expert in something that's going to really help transform our students? Maybe it's using data to track language growth. Maybe it's implementing resources that are engaging for your students. Decide what it is and go deep on that. And every year, if you do that with 1 or 2 things, in the next couple of years, you will have such a wide range of expertise that you can share with confidence. So protect your energy because it protects your purpose. And your students need you, not a version of you that's always overwhelmed. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. If you're feeling unsure or lacking confidence right now, ask yourself, where is that uncertainty really coming from? Here are a few common reasons I hear from ESL teachers. First is maybe you're in a new school or district. So you might not know how scheduling, co-teaching, or placement decisions are made. That's completely normal. Of course, there's any learning curve when you're the new one in a school. But you can take action. Ask your administrator for a meeting. Come prepared with your questions about systems, expectations, or support. Starting that conversation early helps you lead with clarity and calm. It's in the unknowns where there's expectations placed that we're not aware of, and that those are the things that really burn us out as teachers. Because again, when we lead with heart, we want to do our best. But when there's just unclear expectations, it can be really heartbreaking. So go meet with that administrator if you're new to the school and really bring those questions and clarify your role, what's expected, and how they see you best being used in that position. Now, maybe you weren't given a curriculum or any resources. That can be really stressful when you're meant to be the one leading the way on the curriculum, right? You're staring at a blank slate, wondering what to teach and how to meet all your students' needs. And then when you go into those meetings with the homeroom teachers and they say, well, what are you teaching? Why are you teaching that? And there's a lot of questions that are kind of pushback on what you're doing. I've had that happen to me before, and it is really stressful and overwhelming. So you don't have to figure it out all alone, though. That's the good news. We are here to support you. Whether you need leveled lesson plans, assessments, language objectives, or activities tied to grade level content, you'll find everything inside the Equipping ELLs membership. And to make it even easier, as a listener of this podcast, you can use the code TAKE10OFF to save 10% on our Tier 3 monthly or yearly membership plans. That means instant access to every resource you need to build your confidence and your students' success. Now remember, A lack of confidence is not a sign you're not capable. It's a sign you just need the right support and next step. And that's what we're here for. We are here to help you build confidence because the studies show, if you go research the John Hattie study on teacher self-efficacy, that is the number one predictor of success with your students, is how confident you are when you show up in the classroom. So that is what we're all about, is helping you reach that level of confidence where you show up and you see your students have huge language growth because they have a teacher that knows what they're doing and is confident about it. So here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. You are part of a global movement, educators who are shaping the future through language. When you support a student, you're giving them the tools to connect the world. When you support a teacher, you're amplifying what's possible for every learner in that classroom. That ripple effect, it starts with your presence, not perfection, just your presence. And if you ever doubt the difference you make, come back to your confidence Goto file. You've already done more than you know. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you're walking away encouraged and equipped to lead with confidence, even in uncertain moments. Now, if you want more training, we have going on right now a webinar that you can sign up for that is called From Overwhelmed to On Track. We want to help you build that confidence to know exactly what your students need and how you can easily provide that day in and day out. There'll be a link in the show notes where you can click and sign up. We'd love for you to join us and help build that confidence in you to make this the best school year yet. Now, just remember, you don't need to be perfect to make a powerful difference. Just show up, lead with heart, and trust that your work matters, because it does. If today's episode spoke to you, I would love for you to share it with a fellow ESL teacher who might need this reminder. Also, we are so grateful if you are able to take a few minutes and leave a review on Spotify or an Apple Podcast, because it helps more amazing educators like you find the show. I hope you'll join me next week when I share with you the secret ingredient to making your ELLs feel seen, valued, and confident from day one. Until then, keep equipping your ELLs.